Hello everyone, this is Yael from Yael Alchemy, and I'm here to bring you the weekly Twin Flame reading for the week of April the 30th to May 6th. Wow, time sure flies fast. It's May already. And first of all, I'd like to thank all of you who liked and commented and subscribed to my videos, and it really helped. And I'd like to ask you a favor, that if you find benefit in the reading, please do so again. You know what? Every time I get a notification and I see your messages, and I want so much to reply, except that my list of things to do are one after the other. But every time I read it, I send out a burst of love and thanks to all of you. Okay? And secondly, did you watch the news about Kim Jong Il, I think, yeah, Kim Jong-il crossing over to South Korea? Actually, that's great news. And as I posted in my Facebook page, I don't know if you've followed me there, so do check that out. Don't ever think you didn't have a hand in it, because this is exactly what we've been working towards. You know, the North Korean leader, very representative of the old paradigm of the divine masculine, because North Korea before was very rigid, in fact, and very exclusionary. But now, look at this, times are changing. And they're opening, well, not really totally, now they're in negotiations for that. But it is a step forward, and it's baby steps. And again, that is a reflection of the current energies of the divine masculine right now, being more open to things, to possibilities, and to reaching out. So, that is a concrete way that your work, your directed efforts in changing the planet, and your light work and your energy work are manifesting. So that's really good news. Okay, third, there is a fly. I have to warn you. It's the height of summer here in the Philippines, and it seems that my dog has invited some flies in. Okay, I let the other ones out, but there's just one here, so just in case they land on the cards, please don't get surprised. Okay, fair warning. Okay, so let's get on with the reading for the divine masculine. First, we have here journey. Okay, and here, wait, let me open all the cards first. We have journey, then we have the two of air, then we have the Four of Earth. And then we have the Nine of Air. Oh no, this is 11. Okay, Roman numerals. The 11 of Air. Okay, so here. What I'm getting with this is that for the first card, the Journey card, is that, well, it's very literal, because the divine masculines are continuing on in their journey. But here, what they're doing now is more of integration. Okay, this is their recollection of past choices, past consequence, whatever they did in their lives before, and that's including this incarnation and even past incarnations. Because here, now, what they're wondering is how that has led to them being who they are now. Okay? Before, divine masculines, they couldn't be bothered at all with introspection, because they're very action oriented, just forward, keep moving forward, and it's a Martian energy, really. And now they're incorporating the Venusian energies within them. And they are, how do you say this? It's like they're self-analyzing how they got to the person that they are now. And in this self-questioning, self-analysis, they discover some things that are, it's like they're asking themselves, how could I have done that? And how did that make me the person that I am? Which is, like I said, it's a very good place to be in for the divine masculines, because they get to appreciate and understand the, oh, there's the fly, sorry. They get to appreciate and understand their totality. And now, because you cannot, if you don't look at your past, okay, what happens is that you tend to repeat the same mistakes. So that awareness, that consciousness of their makeup, their decisions before, that's very important in their journey. And here, the next card here is the Two of Air. Okay, and the Two of Air here indicates this is polarity and unity consciousness, because this is wanting to balance it all. And like I said, that's why it resonates. Where are the other cards? I didn't read the energies at the back of the cards. Let me get back to that later. Okay. Here, so this balancing act is happening right now, whether, you know, and the realizing that these other parts of themselves, born out of their other actions, others would call it the karmic carryover from their past actions, they're trying to balance that now and integrate that, because they're trying to understand now that both that polarity, recognizing that the polarity within themselves, okay, whether, and the good, it's like saying that accepting that the good that they are exists with the bad that they are. But that's very simplistic, because, you know, you can't just label somebody good or somebody bad, because there are a lot of factors that come into the choices that we make every day that result in consequences or karmic carryovers. So there. Okay, and I'll get back to the bottom of the deck later. Okay, and here we have the Four of Earth. And in the process of this balancing act that the divine masculines are doing, here we have the Four of Earth, which symbolizes stability, perseverance, and commitment. And that's a good thing, because this is not something they're going to shirk away from right now. This wanting to achieve this balance. Now, look at this. Even if you look at the picture, this man, he's holding up this archway. But look at him. He's almost bloodied. Okay? There is a strain there because of the weight of the thing that he's holding up. It's almost like Atlas holding up the world. But he's dedicated into doing that, because here, the next card that we have is body and mind. And like he said, integration is like the big word here for the divine masculines, because everything starts in the mind. Right? It starts with a thought, it goes down into an action. It reflects in your body. And here, like I said, here, this journey, who he is, and then his commitment there. Here, now his dedication is to bring that down and reflect that in how he is living his life at this time. And that's a very good thing, okay? Because he's able to sort of synthesize who he is, what the possibilities within him could be. And I know I get it because some of the divine feminines really have difficulty with their divine masculines who are still, there's still much to be desired as regards their ascension journey. Because, yeah, I can't avoid that. There are a lot of some comments that he has lied, he has cheated, he has gone back to whatever. But that's why they're having a difficult time here. But this awareness of his makeup, okay, and what we're saying this is that it's not only in a physical level, but on a soul level, the assessment of his makeup, that leads to this integration of body and mind and bringing that down, okay? And let me finish this first before we see if there's messages there. Okay, and for the divine masculine, we have here the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles represents continued work. Now, Pentacles is usually a slow card in the suit, but look at this, coupled with his dedication and commitment, and coupled with this awareness, that's really not a bad thing, okay? While a lot of, there's a lot of buzz out there, well, actually, I have a kind of, not really a beef, but a lot of twin flame teachers, it's like they market whatever spiritual services they have or their videos. It's almost, it comes across to me as clickbait. Like, union now, the most powerful whatever now. But really, it is a process, and sometimes it's not that fast because you have to integrate it with yourself. Okay? Even now that we have the assistance of our galactic family, okay, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, what they can do to the physical self of your divine masculine, that's still going to, it's like a trickle-down effect, okay? So there, so those clickbait titles, I don't know, there's something just off with the most important message, I don't know, you recognize clickbait when you see it on the web. So just go with your guidance when you hear or you see that, because it's just, I don't know, it's just off. Maybe I've been seeing a lot of those, that's why I thought to mention it, but then again, so there. Okay, let's look at the cards at the bottom of the deck. Here, we have the Seven of Air, and the Seven of Air usually pertains to, this is like cutting through the choices that they have mentally to get to something that is precise. Because here, the messages are coming through to them. But as you see here, see, the third eye is open, but then his eyes are still closed. You don't actually see the pupils in his eyes. So this is going on a soul level, you know, constant separation of the wheat from the chaff, okay? And then here we have the Five of Cups. And this is related to the divine masculine energy here, because this is a card of regret, disappointment, in all these choices that he had to make before. But he's doing this on a very mental level. This is as regards the divine masculine, okay? Because the bottom of the deck usually pertains also to the divine feminine. So there. And then we have the Eight of Cups here. And here in the Eight of Cups, you see all his chakras. They're lit up. There's a full moon on his back. So now this is a continuation of that activation. And like I said earlier, consciousness is a starting point. You have to be aware. There has to be a deliberateness in choosing whatever it is, whatever. You can't be careless in your ascension journey and just keep doing this, without that being deliberate. Because, like I said, intention right now, actually, it started late last year, wherein manifestation was at its, had gained momentum. And in manifesting that, intention is a crucial ingredient there. And how will the divine masculines really co-create the realities and bridging their 3D and their 5D if they don't have the deliberate intent? But now it is possible, because look at this. Here, the body and the mind. So it starts with the mind, because that's where your intent starts. You intend that this happens. You intend that you become this person. You intend this or that. And then from that intention, you create, and then it's going to manifest. And yes, that's it for the bottom of the deck. Okay, now for the divine feminines, the first card we have for her, and I love this card. This is a card of faith. And you can see here that she's being, this angel, okay? And you know, twin flames, a lot of them carry angelic origins and their soul aspects. So you have to check out, but you can feel it if you have angelic origins in within you, okay? But look, she's being infused by light from the source. And here, you can see here that from the light from the source, she stands on a tortoise or a porpoise, and this would be representative of Earth. And this is the longevity of the planet, because turtles have an unusually long lifespan. Okay, and here there are other creatures there and trees. So here, this is the faith of bringing down the light of source down to the planet. And this is the certainty. This is it is something like, when you call something indubitable, it means it is impervious to doubt. Okay, nothing can shake that belief. And here we have this faith being exhibited by the divine feminines. Well, some, because spirits tell me, like, a lot of you divine feminines are committed to the journey, regardless of how your twin flame journey is manifesting in the physical at this time. But there are others wherein there's still, again, much to be desired when it comes to really committing to doing what you volunteered to do here in this incarnation. Okay? Because others equate the manifestation, waiting for union, and all that, as the be-all and end-all of this journey. Perhaps you're one of those who have just stumbled upon these twin flame videos and you're trying to learn about, but that's fine, because that's That's how the journey starts, really. You ask questions. But, and when they don't get the answer, some of them fail to comprehend that that is still part of their journey at this time. Perhaps you need to learn patience. Perhaps you need to learn more and ask more questions. Ask why. Because here, this turtle, he's also a symbol of wisdom. And this is an ancient wisdom that they're trying to tap into and recall. Okay? The next card for the Divine Feminines is emotion and intellect. Look at this, mirroring the cards of the Divine Masculine, because this is also a balancing card. The Divine Masculine has body and mind. The Divine Feminines have emotion and intellect. And here, the Divine Feminines, because they're more connected with their emotions. It's like this would be, again, the Venusian energy within them. Okay, they, whatever they feel, they translate it into that a thought, okay, which is how they process it, which is how they draw conclusions. And that was what I was saying earlier, that if the emotions that you feel right now, whether that's desperation, anguish, despair, joy, bliss, or just overwhelm, okay, that needs to be processed by the mind. And how that's going to be processed, because that will define your experience, depends also on how much faith you have in the outcome that you seek. Whether, and of course, what outcome you seek as a twin flame that has incarnated in this lifetime. Okay? Because, like I said, and I have to remind you, the mission is twofold. Okay? You did not incarnate with your twin flame in the same lifetime, not to get together. But there is a process involved. And wherever you are in that stage of the process, that's going to bring up some emotions. And these emotions, they have to be processed. Because if it's always going to be a knee-jerk reaction to whatever you feel, without that consciousness, without that deliberateness that I speak about, then that's going to define what you're going to experience. Okay? And the next card we have for the Divine Feminine is the Nine of Cups. And here, look at this. The Nine of Cups here, this is actually the Nine of Water. Okay? Unlike the other decks, the Nine of Cups is the Rider-Waite, and the other decks, usually they indicate wishes granted and all that. But in this particular deck, the Nine of Water, this signifies looking back to the past. These are emotional connections that you've made. These are past hurts that are still affecting and influencing your life now. And this introspection, okay, now this is like a deeper comprehension, a deeper introspection, really, of what makes you you at this time. And those who are not going through that process with deliberate consciousness and intention, then they're going to miss this, okay? Because you have to look at why something has made you feel bad, worthless, rejected. These are all the things that make you feel vulnerable. And this is surrendering to the feelings that those incidents bring up inside you. But again, that's necessary to balance the emotion and the intellect. And so, yeah, Wait, let me open the last card first. And the last card for the Divine Feminine, this is very beautiful. And I get distracted. I see this fly. I'm sorry. But anyway, here, this child. These are the beautiful possibilities that arise. Again, this is it can go two ways, because when you talk about infinite possibilities in whatever you create, because this is innocence, this is a starting point, but this card above it, this faith card, that determines where you're starting from. If this is shaky and your foundations are shaky, then that limits the possibilities that are available to you when it comes to manifesting in the physical world. Because remember, if it's as simple as that, if you think that you are limited, then you are. Okay? If you think this is impossible, then it is. So, again, the possibilities that are available to the Divine Feminine are really based on the whatever limitations, whether they are there, that are being set, that they set for themselves. And these, it's like your baseline for how far you can go. These emotions that have been brought up, that you've felt before in the past, okay, that's going to affect this. Because look, if there was an experience before, I don't know, maybe you were bullied or something and made to feel worthless, or you didn't get the job that you were applying for because you thought that because they thought that you didn't have the capability, and of course that brings up feelings of self-doubt. But this is a time now to really align your beliefs with the feelings, okay, at this time, because that affects how you're going to, the possibilities that will be available to you. Okay. And the card for the divine feminine here. Look, we have the Tower card, and the Tower card pertains to here. This is not an easy thing to do, because especially if it's you're looking back on past experiences that mold you and have hurt you before. And it's like if your divine masculine before rejected you and all that, and you're going through the journey, but you don't want to face that, because that really brought up this anguish. Okay, it was a major upset in your life. But the thing is, that has to be faced. If you get stuck there, that, okay, so he said this, he feels this way about me, and while you're hoping, because you know you're listening to this video, and you're working on your twin flame ascension journey, you're hoping that that's going to change and all that, but you believe that, but if it's still bringing up these emotions because you haven't dealt with them, that again limits the possibilities. Okay? So here, this is a very difficult thing. And this also represents a lot of triggers, emotional triggers for the divine feminine. And yes, I've been going through that the past couple of days. But then you go back to this. So that's like a formula. You get triggered, you go back to this. You realize how it connects. And then that, how you react to that, how you deal with that, opens up the possibilities. And you get to create a clean slate. Okay? So check how you react emotionally to the things in your environment, because if you get stuck on that emotion without processing it, that's a barrier, that's a limitation. And it's very easy to take it down. I'm not saying the emotion, feeling the emotion is very challenging, it's very difficult, and that's why they're triggers now. But knowing where your reaction and your feelings are the red flag, okay, the cue to see how to integrate it, how to process this thing that you're feeling. Then again, go through the process and do it, because this is going to open up once you do that. Okay, and I'm going to pick a card. Where's the deck? In the middle for both the Divine Feminines and the Divine Masculines. Okay, here we have the Queen of Water. And the Queen of Water, very intuitive, very accepting, this is making oneself vulnerable. And both the Divine Masculines and the Divine Feminines are going through that stage right now. Okay, being very vulnerable in their journey, because here Divine Masculine has to reconcile the things that contribute to the makeup, his makeup right now, who defined the things, the events in his past, his choices, his decision, that all contribute to who he is now. And while the Divine Feminines also deliberately re-examining all these incidents, situations that have maybe wounded them emotionally. So this vulnerability is a vulnerability in strength. Okay, because here you can see here even the energy of the cards themselves, they're vastly different. Although this is making oneself vulnerable, not knowing the outcome, but here both twins, there is that surrender, that vulnerability, but there is this strength that they can call upon, because look, they're using their intuition. Okay, and now they integrate those emotions with that wisdom. The turtles are here again. We have the crab here symbolizing Cancer. So that being sensitive to these things, sensitive to these emotions that these are bringing up, this is a time for re-examination. Okay, and doing it from a position of strength, because you understand more. Okay, so anyway, that's what I have for you this week. Again, if you find benefit in this video, please do click the like button, and please, please comment, whether it's a thank you, an emoji, or whatever. I truly appreciate it, and that helps in getting this message out to those who need to hear it. Okay, and yes, that's it. Okay, so have a good week, everyone. Bye.